Gender-based activists have raised concerns that the lockdown can have a huge impact on domestic violence and gender-based violence. According to the National Shelter Movement of South Africa, one of its main concerns is the potential for increased violence against women and children who may be forced to endure isolation with their abuser during this unprecedented extended period of quarantine. Bernadine Bachar, the chairperson of the Western Cape Women's Shelter Movement, is on the line to talk to us about the shelters made for abused women and children across the country. Bernadine, a very good morning to you, and thanks so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure, Bernadine. And it's a sad reality for many women and children that during this lockdown, some are experiencing abuse. I mean, how would you advise them to exercise extra caution in times like these?
We're asking women that are perhaps confined with their abusers in their home to have a safety plan ready should they need to flee. So have a trusted person as a contact person in an emergency, have a emergency contact code with them, and have a plan set up for when you need to leave. We're also asking them to keep the emergency toll-free numbers at hand and all the important numbers that they would need, as well as have a bag packed should they need to leave that would contain all the important documents, contain their medication, and contain any necessary items that they would need. But we're also asking the community to be aware of increased rates of gender-based violence, to assist women across the board, to support survivors, and to report abuse to authorities should they become aware of it, and should it be safe for the survivor to do so.
Now, Bernadine, for many children, especially those who are still underage, how can they protect themselves during a time like this, and how do they reach out for help? You just mentioned some of the toll-free numbers. Do remind us what those toll-free numbers are.
Right. The Gender-Based Violence Command Centre has a toll-free number that is manned by qualified social workers who are responsible for taking calls and making referrals to shelters, and that number is 0800 428 428. And there's also a Please Call Me service where one can dial *120 *7867#. For the children especially, there's a Skype service where one can type Help Me, GBV, into your Skype contacts. And there's also an SMS service where one can type in help to 31531. We are very concerned about children, especially those children that will be exposed to gender-based violence while being confined within their households.
And how will the social workers in this shelter, Bernadine, deal with these referrals? Is there perhaps a procedure that is followed in such a time?
Absolutely. So shelters are essential services, so we are still working as per usual. We're doing a lot of work from remotely, so we will be doing our counselling and our referral services telephonically for women and children in the community that need our assistance.
So with most shelters taking in new people, and I would imagine such a huge number, how will you ensure that they adhere to the COVID-19 protocols?
So what we're doing specifically within the Western Cape is we have a two-tier admission system put in place. So once a new survivor has approached us, she would go into what we call a stage 1 COVID shelter. And that would be for a period of 21 days in order for her to get health monitoring and support. And thereafter, she'd move into the regular shelters like the SABC Apartment Centre, where she would go through the regular shelter programs. But women are also advised, obviously, they are only to be on the streets for essential services like going to doctors or getting essential groceries, and they're following the general lockdown rules across the board.
Now, in each province, how many centres have been made available, and just how many people can each centre accommodate?
In the Western Cape at this moment in time, we have 4 COVID-19 stage 1 shelters that would accommodate an additional 50 women and children. We are anticipating a huge surge like we're seeing globally happening at the moment. The stats that are coming out of China are telling us that they had an increase in GBV of 33%. So we're anticipating that we're going to require further accommodation for women in the upcoming days, and we're busy identifying suitable sites.
All right, Bernadine, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated. And do keep the good work going. Now, that was National Shelter Movement of South Africa has made a number of contact centers available to support any women who experience any domestic abuse issues during this coronavirus lockdown. We just spoke to Bernadine Bachar, the chair of the Western Cape Women's Shelter Movement, and she just shared information on these shelters. Remember that if you are, in the hands or suffering the hands of an abuser, call this toll-free number 0800 428 428 0800 428 428, and you can also SMS the word help to 315131. SMS help 315131.